How can AI help with your communications? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from Security First International Holdings is President and CEO Brian Fowler. Hi, Brian.
How are you?
We're going to be talking about your software called OptoBiz AI. First, give us a bit of background about the company and maybe a little about yourself.
So for the background on myself, I've been involved in technology for the better part of 25 years. My technology started with development in VoIP back in the late 90s. And I was able to actually build a network and sell the network to a group of investors in Fort Lauderdale. And we went on to be one of the larger desktop telephony providers, meaning that we developed software phones. So people back in the late 90s, early 2000s were talking into their computers instead of actually using a traditional phone device. So we built that out. We integrated the technology with a number of upcoming social networks at the time, including Friendster, MySpace, and so forth. This was before the big Facebook push. So we ultimately became one of the larger VoIP providers in the early to mid 90s. 2000s. And from there, just being involved with that sort of evolution of technology and being on the forefront of watching some of these other techs start to grow, much like social networking, it provided an opportunity for a learning process in a lot of these different emergent verticals in the web and in tech. So with the company fully capitalized for its VoIP projects, we started to branch out and look into other aspects of the tech and develop in those techs. So ultimately, that was the start of what I took into Security First International Holdings. It was the genesis of the beginning of Security First, because I turned Security First into a tech incubator. So we basically would identify emerging techs, develop some tech around it, and if there was an opportunity to accelerate that tech, we'd go forward and try and accelerate into the market and start to monetize some of the technology itself. So that's kind of the genesis of how we got to Security First International.
So you have OptoBiz with the tagline AI humanely applied. Tell us what it is and how it can be useful to people maybe at home and in business.
Well, it's a conversational AI, so it's a natural speaking model. It's something that is a resource for business owners or entrepreneurs or even enterprise to be able to utilize something that can be a data source, an information source that can make their project or their work a little bit more efficient. Not 100% relying on it, but utilizing it as an assistant to help complete projects and make the actual employee or the worker more efficient at the job.
So step us through how it's used and what the benefits are.
So right now we have it in a chat channel. So a lot of smaller businesses and emerging smaller businesses are starting to use WhatsApp for business. WhatsApp has developed a platform for business owners to use chat as a mechanism for communication with their customers. So we've implemented the actual AI into a chat channel with WhatsApp that can be brought into a group. And if there's any questions that need to be answered quickly and swiftly, they can just refer to the AI for the actual information, and that information will be shared to the group from the AI. So anyone in the group can prompt the AI for any information pertaining to why you're connected with the particular agent.
And what does humanely applied mean?
Meaning that it's not all reliant, it's not all customer facing. So there is a human in the loop. That information that comes back is not always accurate information. So the human does have to sanitize the information before it's delivered to the front facing the consumer.
Now, with ChatGPT and Bard from Google out there gathering headlines, what are some of the things that set what you're doing apart?
So we're focusing right now on the security aspect of it. A lot of these are emergent, and there's a lot of gaps in security with some of these models. So we're focused on providing mechanisms that can detract from any of that sort of malicious activity within our conversational AI. So indirect prompt injection is something that it can happen with some of the other bigger players, which gets the actual GPT to push out information that's not necessarily the accurate information and lead the user into a path that they might not necessarily need to be on, just by a prompt being injected into the flow of the information. So we're focused a lot on that and model poisoning, where it kind of, the data set gets corrupt. So when you start to utilize that data set, if the data set is corrupt, you're going to get corrupt information. So it's garbage in, garbage out. So we're continuously looking at the security aspects of these models as they come forward.
And where do you take this from here?
So we are a public company, and we look to find emerging projects. So if we see that there is a group that's actually developing something that has some synergy with what we're doing, it could become an acquisition vehicle where we can start to really buy up some of this AI tech and merge it together and become a main player. So we're looking, and we have aspirations to go from where we are over the counter to the NASDAQ as an actual AI company.
And for more info, where should people go?
For more info, OptoBiz AI. They're connect with us over the chat channel. It's right there. And then you can communicate with us directly through OptoBiz AI.
Terrific. OptoBiz AI. Brian Fowler, thanks for spending time with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.